An emergency NATO summit is underway as the war in Ukraine enters its second month. President Biden and Western allies trying to increase pressure on President Vladimir Putin in hopes of ending the invasion. This morning, President Biden, he may reportedly announce plans to permanently maintain an increased number of U.S. troops in NATO countries. Now, this is a critical moment for the president. He's dealing with a sinking approval rating. An exclusive NewsNation poll just released finds 44% of voters approve of the president's performance, 56% disapprove. The poll also finds that most Americans say Russia is the biggest threat to the United States, with 51% of the vote. From our poll results to what's happening on the ground in Europe, we are covering every angle of the story. Let's start with Allison Harris live at the White House with more on this high-stakes summit. Allison?
Good morning, Adrienne. An historic day unfolding in Europe as President Biden is at NATO headquarters during this war in Ukraine. A powerful picture we're seeing this morning of 30 world leaders coming together, continuing to show strength in the face of this Russian aggression, expected to announce more sanctions against Russia, maintaining troops in Eastern Europe, and also sending even more aid to Ukraine.
President Biden reveling in Western resolve and solidarity as he arrives at NATO in Brussels, Belgium this morning with the NATO Secretary-General, greeting world leaders ahead of a series of summits.
We are determined to continue to impose costs on Russia to bring about the end of this brutal war.
President Biden touching down in Europe overnight, marking 1 month since the start of the Russian invasion, an unprecedented trip during an active war, as the U.S. makes the official declaration that Russia has committed war crimes. Russia clearly targeting innocent people, women and children, in attacks on a theater and school marked as shelters. President Biden announcing more severe sanctions on Russian political heads and oligarchs today, in lockstep with U.S. allies, announcing 4 new combat units headed to the eastern flank, bolstering defense forces for allies on the front lines, while also working on how to wean Europe off its dependence on Russian natural gas, as the U.S. has banned all Russian oil and gas imports. The president meeting with G7 leaders and the European Council before a meeting tomorrow with the European Commission president. Then traveling to Poland to address the growing humanitarian crisis of millions of people crossing the Polish border, fleeing Russian attacks. Leaders from the free world expected to discuss red lines that could trigger NATO response, including the use of chemical or nuclear weapons. President Biden addressing that concern, leaving the White House Wednesday.
Mr. President, how concerned are you about the threat of chemical warfare right now, that Russia would use chemical weapons? How high is that threat?
I think it's a real threat.
We're expecting to hear all of those announcements from the president today. A lot on the docket. We're expecting to hear from President Biden himself a couple of different times throughout the day as he has this trio of meetings, including remarks at an upcoming meeting of the G7.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.